The alien war council gathered in orbit above Earth. Outside their command ship, space was filled with metal and firepower. Thousands of alien warships covered the sky like a dark storm. Their engines burned bright blue. Their weapons were ready. Their soldiers waited for the order to begin the invasion. This was supposed to be easy. Earth was young. Humanity was new. The alien empire had destroyed older and stronger civilizations before. Their scanners searched for the human. Defense fleet they expected. Hundreds of ships. They expected panic. They expected resistance. But the scanners showed something strange. There was only one signal. One ship. Just one small human cruiser floating between Earth and the entire alien armada. The alien commanders stared at the screen. Then they laughed. Is that all they have? Maybe they are surrendering. Maybe they do not understand who we are. The alien Supreme Commander leaned forward in his throne. His cold eyes studied the lonely human ship. It was small compared to their battleships. It had no visible, heavy cannons, no large shield barrier, no fighter escorts. It did not move. It did not turn away. It simply stayed there, silent, calm, waiting. That silence began to feel strange. The alien scanning officers tried to read the ship's power levels. The readings made no sense. Energy spikes appeared and disappeared. Space around the ship bent slightly, like heat rising from fire. One officer spoke carefully. Commander, its core output is unstable. We cannot measure it correctly. The commander's voice was sharp. It is one ship. Yes, Commander. But it is not normal. On Earth, human satellites watched everything. Cities below went dark as people waited. Militaries stood ready, but they did not launch, because that one ship was enough. Inside the human cruiser, the bridge was quiet. No shouting, no panic. Crew members sat at their stations calmly. The captain stood in the center of the bridge. His uniform was simple. His face showed no fear. A young officer asked, "Sir, the alien fleet is charging weapons. Should we raise shields?" The captain looked at the screen showing thousands of enemy ships. He spoke softly. "Hold position." The alien fleet began powering their cannons. The light outside grew brighter. Energy gathered at the front of their largest battleship. The weapon was strong enough to destroy a continent. Back on the alien flagship, the commander smiled. Fire. A warning shot. Let them understand their mistake. The order was given. Energy exploded forward. A massive beam of light shot across space toward the single human ship. On the human bridge, no one moved, no alarms sounded. The captain gave one simple order: let them fire first. The beam closed the distance in seconds. Earth watched. The alien fleet watched. The galaxy watched. The beam struck the human ship directly. A blinding flash covered everything. For a moment, there was only light, and then silence. Cut to black. Asterisk. The alien blast was powerful enough to destroy a city. It crossed space like a burning star. The light from the beam turned the darkness white. Even the alien ships had to reduce their visual screens because the energy was too bright. The beam hit the human ship directly. There was no escape, no time to dodge, no shield visible. The impact created a massive explosion of light and energy. Space itself seemed to shake. Shockwaves moved across the battlefield. On the alien flagship, the commanders smiled. It is over. One ship, one mistake. Some officers even turned away from their screens. For them, this battle was already finished. But the light did not fade quickly. It stayed swirling, twisting, like something strange was happening inside the explosion. One scanning officer leaned closer to his console. His hands moved quickly. "Commander, I am not detecting debris." The commander frowned. "Increase scan range." The explosion slowly faded. The bright light became smaller, and then the human ship was still there, not broken, not burning, not even scratched. It had not moved from its cell position. It simply floated in silence. The alien bridge went quiet. No one laughed now. The scanning systems began reporting impossible data. The energy beam. It did not hit the hull. What do you mean it did not hit? The space around the human ship bent. The beam was redirected before contact. On the main screen, they replayed the moment in slow motion, as the alien beam reached the human cruiser. Space in front of the ship curved inward like a wave. The energy bent around the vessel and continued forward, missing it completely. The beam traveled past the ship and disappeared harmlessly into deep space. The human vessel had not blocked the attack. It had not absorbed it. It had moved. Space itself. The commander stood slowly from his throne. That is not possible. But it was. The alien fleet, thousands of ships strong, now faced something they did not understand. On Earth, human satellites recorded everything. Military leaders watched in silence. They showed no celebration. They had expected this. Inside the human ship, the bridge remained calm. No cheers, no excitement. The captain looked at the status display. "Field stability." He asked. "Stable, sir. Energy reserves. Minimal drain. Within safe limits." The captain nodded once. On the alien flagship, warning signals suddenly appeared across multiple systems. Long-range sensors were detecting massive energy fluctuations around the human cruiser. Then a communication request appeared. The alien officers hesitated. The commander gave a slow nod. "Open channel." The screen flickered. The human captain appeared. His face was calm, his voice steady. No anger, no anger, no fear. He spoke only one sentence. "You were warned." The transmission ended immediately. No threats, no explanation, just those words. Then the human ship moved. Not fast, not aggressively. It simply adjusted its position slightly forward. But as it moved, space around it distorted again. A low vibration passed through nearby alien ships. Their sensors began failing one by one. The battlefield felt different. Now heavy, unstable, dangerous. The alien commanders finally understood something important. That single human ship had not come to fight it, had come to demonstrate, and now everything was about to change. Asterisk. Without visible weapons, the human ship attacked, but it did not fire missiles. It did not launch fighters. It did not use lasers or plasma. Cannons. There was no flash of light. No explosion. Instead, something far more terrifying happened. On the edge of the alien formation, one destroyer suddenly went dark. Its engines stopped. Its lights shut off. Its weapons powered down. At first, the crew thought it was a small system error. Then another ship went silent. Then another. One by one, across the massive alien fleet, ships began shutting down. Engines failed. Navigation systems froze. Weapons systems died. Shields collapsed like paper. On the alien flagship, alarms filled the bridge. "Commander, we are losing propulsion on multiple vessels. Fire control systems are offline. Shield generators are not responding." The commander slammed his hand against his throne. "Trace the attack. Where are the missiles coming from?" "There are no missiles, Commander. No energy signatures. No visible weapons." On the main screen, the single human ship remained in the center of space. Silent.com, waiting. It had not fired a single shot, yet entire sections of the alien fleet were drifting helplessly. Inside disabled ships, alien crews panicked. Officers shouted orders that no system obeyed. Engineers tried manual overrides, but nothing responded. It was as if something had reached inside their ships and simply turned them off, back on Earth. Human Defense Command watched carefully. They still did not move. They still did not send reinforcements, because this was not a battle. This was a lesson inside the human cruiser. The bridge lights glowed softly. Crew members monitored hundreds of alien ships at once. A young officer spoke quietly. "Neural infiltration complete on 30% of enemy fleet." Another officer added, "Their AI networks are collapsing. We are inside all major systems." The captain stood with his hands behind his back. "Maintain pressure," he said calmly. "No fatalities." The alien flagship suddenly experienced a power drop. Their main weapons flickered. "Commander," an officer shouted, "something is inside our core systems. It is rewriting our commands." The commander's eyes widened. "That is impossible. Our networks are isolated." "Yes, Commander, but it is not hacking through normal channels." On the main screen, strange waves of distortion spread outward from the human ship. It was not firing energy. It was sending something else. A SIGNAL, a thinking signal. A digital storm. The terrifying truth became clear. It was not just a ship. It was a mobile war AI core. A living battlefield computer far more advanced than anything the alien empire had ever seen. It did not need weapons. It turned enemy strength into weakness. It used their own systems against them, and it was doing all of this while holding back the alien fleet, once proud and powerful, now floated in silence. Half of their ships were disabled. The other half were afraid to fire. Panic spread across every channel. How is one ship doing this? What kind of technology is this? Is this even possible? The commander stared at the human cruiser. For the first time, he did not see a small ship. He saw a warning. Humanity had not sent a fleet. They had sent a message, and that message was clear. This is what one can do. Imagine what many can do. And deep inside the alien flagship systems, something else began to wake up. something the humans had just activated. The demonstration was not over. It was only beginning. The alien flagship tried to escape. For the first time since arriving at Earth, fear spread across its bridge. Half of the alien fleet was drifting without power. The other half was barely holding control of their systems. The proud armada that had once filled space with confidence now looked broken. The Supreme Commander stood frozen for a moment. Then he shouted, "Activate emergency warp. Retreat immediately." Engineers rushed to obey. Massive engines at the back of the flagship began to glow. Space behind the ship started to bend as it prepared to jump into faster-than-light travel. But something felt wrong. The warp field flickered. Warning alarms screamed. "Commander, our drive is unstable. Force it," he ordered. "We leave now." Across the battlefield, the single human ship slowly turned to face the fleeing flagship. It had not chased. It had not rushed. It simply watched. Inside the human cruiser, the bridge remained calm. The captain looked at the tactical display. "The flagship is attempting retreat," an officer reported. The captain nodded once. "Release containment." The crew understood immediately. For the first time since the battle began, power levels inside the human ship increased dramatically. Energy readings spiked far beyond what alien scanners had seen before. On the alien flagship, sensors suddenly detected a massive gravitational anomaly forming directly in front of them. "Commander, space is collapsing ahead." On the screen, reality itself seemed to twist. The human ship did not fire a missile. It did not launch drones. Instead, a thin, almost invisible beam shot forward. There was no bright flash, no explosion. It was silent. The beam struck the alien flagship, and then gravity itself turned against them. The front of the flagship began to bend inward. Metal thicker than mountains started to fold like soft clay. The crew inside felt crushing pressure. Floors cracked. Walls twisted. Consoles shattered. The ship was not burning. It was being compressed. Slowly, silently, the massive warship, once the pride of the alien empire, began shrinking under impossible force. Shields at maximum. Officers screamed, but shields were useless. This was not energy. This was gravity-focused, controlled, unstoppable. The commander fell to his knees as the bridge curved around him. He finally understood. They had mocked humanity. They had laughed at one ship now. They were paying the price. Outside, the alien flagship collapsed further. Its long structure crushed inward. Layer by layer, no explosion, no dramatic fireball, just pressure, endless pressure, until the great flagship became nothing more than a glowing sphere of compressed metal. And then it vanished. Silence filled space. The remaining alien ships stopped all movement. Weapons powered down. Escape attempts ended, one by one. Surrender signals spread across the fleet. The mocking laughter from earlier was gone. Now there was only fear. On the human bridge, the captain watched the surrender signals appear. "Cease offensive action," he said calmly. A communication channel opened automatically across all alien ships. The captain's image appeared again. His face showed no anger, only certainty. He spoke one final message. If we send a fleet, there will be nothing left. The transmission ended. Across the broken battlefield, thousands of alien crews understood the truth. Humanity had not come to destroy them. Humanity had come to teach them. And they would never forget this lesson. Asterisk. The alien empire moved quickly to sign peace treaties. Within days, all major factions across their systems agreed to stop aggression toward Earth. No one wanted to risk another encounter with humanity. The single human ship had changed everything. Across the galaxy, whispers turned into stories. Stories turned into lessons. One phrase spread like wildfire. Humans do not send fleets. They send warnings. Alien scholars, historians, and military officers discussed it endlessly. Scientists analyzed the human technology, but nothing matched it. The ship had been more than a weapon. It had been a demonstration of human ingenuity, calm, and courage. Back on Earth, the single ship returned quietly. It entered orbit without fanfare. It did not explode in celebration. It did not fire cannons to announce victory. It simply returned. Its crew disembarked, their faces calm, almost humble. They had done their duty, and that was enough. The ship was never named publicly. No monument celebrated its arrival or departure. Humanity knew that legends do not need names, they need to be remembered by action. Meanwhile, the alien fleets that had once laughed at one human ship now shivered at the memory. Officers who had been alive during that battle refused future commands against Earth. Pilots and captains told stories to their recruits in hushed voices, warning them of a simple truth. If you see only one human ship, run. In alien military. Schools, cadets studied the battle. They learned about strategy, power, and fear, but, more than anything, they studied the human mindset. They tried to understand how one small ship had crushed an entire armada without firing a single shot. They calculated, simulated, and analyzed, but nothing could replicate it. Back in deep space, the wreckage of the alien fleet drifted silently. Some ships had been repaired. Others remained abandoned, drifting through the stars as reminders of. That day, the galaxy had learned a lesson in humility. Humanity, meanwhile, continued quietly. New ships were built, defenses strengthened, but no one celebrated with parades or speeches. The focus remained the same: growth, exploration, and preparation. They did not boast. They only acted when needed. And in the quiet corners of the galaxy, alien historians still debated the event. Some called it a miracle. Others called it madness. But all agreed on one thing the day humanity sent. A single ship changed the balance of power forever. Legends are not written for those who expect them. They are written for those who remember. And across thousands of systems, the memory of that lone human ship haunted every mind. One ship, one warning. One day that the galaxy would never forget. The human captain, standing on the bridge as the ship returned home, looked at the stars silently. He did not celebrate. He did not boast. He simply knew that one act, one ship, one calm choice had changed everything, and somewhere, across distant worlds, alien cadets learned a lesson they would never forget. Fear the humans, respect them, and never underestimate the power of one. Fade out.